Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. The Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to Movie Film. This is episode 143, brought to you by Mr. Boy Productions. My name is Zachy Hassan, and I'm joined by Brian Hall.
Hey, what's going on, Zachy?
Well, a lot has been going on, Brian. We are insanely late with this episode.
Yeah, well, sometimes, life finds a way to distract.
Life gets in the way.
Yeah, life gets in the way. That's better. But yeah, you have been under the weather.
I have. We were supposed to record about a week ago, and I woke up in the morning with no voice.
Mm-hmm.
It was. I opened my mouth, and my normal sonorous tones were shockingly absent.
We actually spoke on the phone, and no joke, I hope you don't mind me saying, but it actually sounded like you were gargling rocks and a goose was dying. Like mixed together.
Both of those things were happening.
Yeah. Oh, well. Here's the
but
goose.
Other than that, I felt fine. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was. I've never heard someone's voice sound that intensely, off. And I could tell like you needed to rest. So,
but I would have recorded. I would have gone. That's how dedicated I am.
Actually, that's the thing too. Is you pushed it for that day, and then we scheduled it again, and we had to push. But you kept rescheduling. I mean, we tried to make it happen, but we were just doing whatever was within your health limits. So, and even today, you're still not fully recovered. So,
yeah, it's crazy. I mean, this is the problem with getting older. Is it just takes longer to brush this stuff off? I guess.
I wouldn't know.
My kids took full advantage. By the way.
Yeah.
So if they're horsing around and just being ridiculous, I couldn't say anything because I'd be like, "Hey guys, I need you." I'm like flailing my arms, and my 9-year-old just being a dick because he'd be like, "What? I'm sorry, what?" Like he knows I can't talk. Yeah.
Wait, this is your second oldest, right?
This is my second. Yeah.
He's the one, man. he's the one that likes to push your buttons.
Yeah, he's literally like, what? I'm sorry, what? He's being like, he's Johnny from Karate Kid.
Yeah.
I think he's looking forward to that Cobra Kai show because he's like, finally, the focus is on the right person.
Yeah. It's funny, actually, that dojo, the filming location, is not very far from where I work, and I've known this for years and always meant to go there, and just like 2 days ago, Friday, I finally went there because I was picking up lunch, and it was right there. So I was like, screw this, I'm walking over there. So I walked over there, and it's this abandoned building, and inside it still has this like matte floor and these mirrors on the walls. So it really looks like the shell of the Cobra Kai, for all these years later. It's kind of interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. I wonder if they filmed there.
Are they filming there?
Well, for the series, I wonder if they did. I mean, they're not. It's empty now, but
I mean, the exterior is probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so as a result, I've been a little out for the count the last week. I had hoped to catch a couple movies at the theater, and that has not happened. So this is going to be one of those episodes where I listen to you talk about all the stuff that you've seen.
Yeah, which isn't as much as you would imagine. Well, it is and it isn't, actually. We were saying we haven't even covered Oscars. I saw Annihilation, which felt like a long time ago, and haven't talked about that yet. And
well, I mean, talk about that, because Annihilation is one that I was hoping to catch. It's the new writing directing effort from Alex Garland,
who did Ex Machina,
and who it turns out, per reporting by your friend and mine Paul Shirey over at Joe Blow, he also directed Dread.
Oh yeah. What was the story with that? Really, I saw that was a thing.
Well,
did he
Paul
take
had a
over or
chance.
something?
Paul talked to Carl Urban, who played Judge Dredd in that film, and he was talking to Carl Urban about a new film that I should know what it is, but I don't. But wherever Carl Urban goes, he gets asked Dredd questions, and so it's sort of unprodden. He said, Alex Garland is the real director of Dredd, and that movie is credited to Pete Travers, who did Vantage Point, but per Carl Urban, Garland is the real guy. He wrote the script, but he should rightly be referred to as the director. Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, talk to me about Annihilation.
Well, Annihilation is a hard movie to talk about without getting into spoilers.
Right.
But it was an interesting... I was really looking forward to it because I liked Ex Machina, and I wanted to see a sci-fi movie that felt like I was seeing something new, something that felt fresh, and Natalie Portman being in it, she seems to be choosy with her stuff, and...
So it's all about how Poe Dameron is sleeping with Princess Leia's mom.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's interesting. I mean, it's funny talking about it now because it feels like it's already like old news.
Yeah.
I mean,
it already came and flopped.
Yeah, it came and flopped and is debuting on Netflix around the world outside of the U.S.
Right.
But it's an interesting movie, and I did like it. It's a hard movie to recommend. We actually had a lot of walkouts at my screening. Yeah, several walkouts. And the gist of it is basically there's a phenomenon that's happening that most of the people don't know about, and it's been contained by government type people, and then these groups keep going inside this phenomenon to try to figure out what it is and what it means, and it keeps growing, and if it keeps growing, does that mean the end of the world? And they're trying to figure it out. And what happens is, there's no high-speed chases, there's no confrontations and things like that. It's a pretty heady sort of movie, and the people, as they sort of crumble, so to speak, or fall into madness or whatnot, it's all very slow and drawn out as it happens. And if the movie's working for you, and it did work for me, but you should be intrigued by it. But I think a lot of people are just sort of bored by its pace. And I do have to admit that there was a point in the middle. There's certain movies, where a structure to a lot of different movies where you like a Marvel film. You introduce the mystery and you introduce the characters, but then you have some sort of set piece to hook you for a little bit, which leads you to the next thing. And then like 15, 20 minutes later, you have another sort of set piece. Like this one doesn't really have set pieces. It's this long, slow build to a crazy climax.
Okay.
So it feels a little bit different in pace for that. But as soon as the movie ended, my brother turned to me and he's like, "You love that third act, didn't you?" And I was like, "I did." But I did find the movie tried my patience a few times because I was intrigued, but I was wondering if it was going to be worth it. And I don't think it's going to be worth it for everyone. I think if the things that I'm saying, if that sounds interesting to you, you like that deliberate pace and you like an ending that is a little confounding, but also think like 2001, right? Where it's like really out there, visually out there, philosophically out there, but it's challenging, but it's also really dazzling to look at and whatnot. If that sounds satisfying to you, you're going to enjoy it. But I think a lot of people are going to have a hard time with this movie. Okay.
So that does not sound like a thumbs up from you.
Yeah. I appreciated it and I really enjoyed the ending a lot. But I can't say that I loved it through and through.
Now, did you like Ex Machina? I do not remember what you thought of that movie.
I did. Yes, I like that one a lot, actually.
So this sophomore effort did not measure up to you, in my opinion, to that one, in your opinion.
It didn't have its hooks in me all the way through like that one did, but stepping back and upon reflection, they are very thematically aligned with one another, which is kind of interesting. You start to see some things that he seems to be interested in exploring. So I will probably watch it. I honestly, if you were to give it a rousing thumbs up, I would have made plans to see it in theaters or try to see it in theaters. But I guess I'll just wait till it's on streaming. Yeah, I think that's good. And then also, let's see.
Speaking of streaming.
Yeah, I was going to say this is a rare turn for Brian, not being in love with everything.
Wow.
So
this is the darkest timeline.
Yeah. So Duncan Jones's Mute debuted on Netflix as a Netflix movie, and he of Moon fame, right? And then also Warcraft.
Warcraft.
I did not see.
And also Source Code.
Source Code. I always forget about that. Yeah, which I really liked Moon. I pretty much liked Source Code. Didn't see Warcraft, but
you didn't miss much.
Yeah, but I mean, Moon was exciting enough of a fresh sort of science fiction movie that he, I'm with this guy. Like I will continue to see what he does for a while here, and Mute. So it's free. it's streaming on your TV, and this is like a big looking movie. It looks like Blade Runner, basically.
Oh, wow.
It's a wet, damp future. Everything's neon, San Francisco looking kind of thing.
Okay.
And 10 minutes go by. I'm like, oh, this is really beautiful. 20 minutes go by. I'm like, what's this movie about? 30 minutes go by. I'm like, this movie is about something, right? 40 minutes go by. I turned it off basically about 50 minutes in.
Really?
Didn't even make it halfway.
So not even half, yeah.
No, and I was telling you before we started, I listened to /Filmcast, this other film podcast, and one of the guys, they're like, "Oh, I heard you watch Mute," and he goes, "I watched half of Mute." So it feels like I'm not alone in this. And I saw AV Club gave it like a D- or something. It is rough. It is rough. It's like I said. I mean, 30 minutes in, I didn't even know what the movie was about. Basically, you have a guy who loses his voice as a boy in an accident, so hence Mute, and he grew up Amish. And then he's in the future, and he's got this girlfriend who's like a prostitute or something, and she's a waitress, and then she goes missing, and then he's going to go find her. This happens like 30 minutes into the movie, like too late. And then Paul Rudd is in it with Justin Theroux, and they play these doctors. And I still, by the time I got to it, I was barely figuring out why they were in the movie. And just their dialogue. I mean, you could tell they were sort of improvising and having some fun, but it's plotting and just, I was like, why? It feels awkward. Like, it feels like a rough cut. I feel like I watched a rough assembly of this movie.
Okay.
Where they had all the footage and they put it in order and they hadn't cut it or edited it into the movie it was supposed to be. And not being in a theater and being able to stream this from home, I was like, oh, I don't have to finish this, which is hard for me. Even a bad movie, I want to get to the end.
You said that about Bright also.
Yeah, I did finish Bright, though, to its credit.
That's right.
And,
yeah.
And this, I have a hard time turning things off because I want to know. I have to know. And I'm just, sort of like an OCD-ish sort of thing where like I start something, I've got to finish it, or it sort of lingers in my brain. And I had no problems turning this one off. So, yeah, I don't know. Thumbs down.
Well, there we go.
Who knows? Maybe the second hour redeems the whole thing.
I mean, it doesn't sound like it,
From what I've heard, it does not.
It's starting to feel like Twitter sort of had its way with Mute, and Twitter had its way with Bright, and Twitter had its way with the Cloverfield one.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
But in a rare show of I don't know what it means, Twitter seems to have been right.
Yeah. But what's weird too is these movies, if we're led to believe what we're reading, are succeeding for Netflix. They're accomplishing what Netflix wants them to accomplish. I'm sure they would rather have a brilliant movie, but they're bringing in whatever they need, or enough people are turning up and watching them for them to be happy about them. So I had a thought. So with Bright and with this one, both times I thought, so this is what it looks like for a filmmaker to make a movie with no studio oversight. Sometimes you want to villainize creative executives at these studios, but it sort of reminded me that maybe sometimes they're there for a reason. You had to rein in some filmmakers and to be, and when they're doing their jobs correctly, they're a help, they're an assistant, they're a guide, they're a third pair of eyes. So, I don't know.
So, I mean, it strikes me that, people look at Netflix's series offerings, and those are sort of prestige things, that shine has not really rubbed off on their movie offerings in the same way. Isn't
that funny? Yeah.
It's sort of, I mean, back in about 20 years ago, I used to work at Montgomery Ward. I used to work in the Electric Avenue part of Montgomery Ward.
Yeah.
And, this was before DVDs had come out, so we had a large VHS section, but there was like the discount VHS movies.
Yeah.
That were like piece of shit movies that had big name stars in them.
Mm-hmm.
And so you had like this whole thing of like, oh, Jodie Foster in this, and Nicolas Cage in this, and like when Nicolas Cage's name meant something, and Matthew McConaughey in this or whatever, but it's all just god awful crap.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like that's where Netflix is sort of landing when it comes to their movies.
Yeah, which is weird. But then on the other hand, I mean, they had Beasts of No Nation and Mudbound.
That feels like the exception rather than the rule.
Currently, yeah, for sure.
Was it Mudbound? Was that Netflix?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know the history of that movie, but they probably acquired it.
Sure.
But I mean, they have so many movies coming out now.
Yeah.
So who knows? I don't know.
Well, have you seen anything else?
Not really. It's funny, speaking of Nicolas Cage, I did watch Snake Eyes on cable one night.
Oh my gosh. That was a one and done for me. I saw that 20 years ago in the theater, and that was it.
Yeah, I've remembered it being better.
Really?
Yeah. I thought it was like, I mean, I don't remember it being like some sort of classic, but I thought it was like, oh yeah, it's this kind of sizzly movie that's just kind of silly and whatnot. But yeah, it's not great.
No, that was the movie that really hammered home for me that Brian De Palma is extremely overrated.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I haven't actually seen enough of his movies to have an opinion on him necessarily. It actually starts out all right, but then it just kind of goes crazy. And I had read too that the end was like hacked to death over budget and this and that.
Yeah, you can believe it.
You can completely tell, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was like Nicolas Cage at the height of his power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that mid-90s sort of thing he had going.
Yeah, from like 96 to 2000.
Yeah.
If we're being generous.
Like Con Air and all his action movie phase.
like summer of 97, he had Con Air and Face Off.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and the year before that was The Rock.
Ugh, love The Rock.
Yeah, I mean, The Rock is still fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brian De Palma, not a big fan, is what I've realized.
Yeah.
I saw A Wrinkle in Time.
So did I. Yeah.
So this was an interesting one because I went and saw it, and then I wasn't planning on telling you to see it, and then I watched it, and I was just like, wow. And so I texted you, and I was like, so I hate to do this, but I want you to watch A Wrinkle in Time for the show.
You Dark Towered me.
That's the same thing. Yeah, but the difference with Dark Tower, if you remember, is I told you to watch it before I had even seen it.
Yeah.
With this one, though, it was like after I watched it, I was like, I need to discuss this with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a tough one to figure out. Because honestly, the movie ended and I was like, this is a total mess.
Mm-hmm.
And I truthfully, I feel like not enough people have even seen it for me to even have a conversation with. So I'm actually glad that you've seen it because I'm very curious what you thought of this thing.
That's funny you say that because I feel like I've read about it ad nauseum online. But yeah, I don't know another person in my life who's seen it besides you.
Well, that's why we have this show.
Yeah, holy cow. I'm looking at actually on IMDb. I just pulled it up and it has a 4.2 out of 10.
Ouch.
That is low. That seems kind of crazy actually. But yeah, it's I mean, people thought this was going to be another big thing
yes.
this year, and it was sort of built up to be that. And my first inkling about it, that it was going to go the way that it went, was I was at actually a barbecue with a bunch of industry friends, and they all knew already that it was bad, and they were telling me that word on the street and people they were working with. So I was like, oh, wasn't expecting that.
Huh.
And then I got your text, and then I saw it.
A trilogy of events leading up to you watching it.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting too. I mean, I think it's worth bringing up front that, you know, a lot of people were hoping that this movie would succeed because there's been this big push for diversity in front of the camera and behind the camera. And this movie encapsulated all of that, right? It had a girl who was, you know, mixed race who was in the lead, and you had a black female filmmaker, the director. And this is the first time a black female director has ever made a movie over $100 million. And that's like a big deal. And this is something you want to encourage. And
Yes.
you want this to continue. So there was a lot of people wanting this movie to succeed just so that sort of thing would be encouraged. And so it was, I think, a bummer then when the movie turned out to not be that great. People didn't want to trash on it too much because there was an admiration for it. Or like people were still sort of like, still kind of pulling for it underneath it all. And there's even an Onion article about it, right?
What was the article?
I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it was basically like, you know, critics review, like littered with, like struggling to find ways to like be nice to it. Was the gist of it.
I mean, and that's like barely satire.
No, that's literally what happened, and you could see people on Twitter when it was initially happening, people struggling to try to still be sort of kind to it and say that they didn't like it. And I walked out, and I say all that to actually back up my feelings on it. I actually get the admirable mess thing.
Yes.
Because when it's all said and done, the movie is trying to be a good thing. So,
okay.
And I saw it filled with a bunch of kids, and it seemed like they were all right with it. I don't know. But I was like, at the end of the day, it's like, I can't say it wasn't like a Transformers movie where you're like, everything about this is worthless. Like, I do appreciate what it set out to do, but if I'm being honest, it did not do it, and it did not do it well at all.
No.
It's a surprisingly messy movie for being a big budgeted Disney movie. I mean, Disney has been like...
It feels like 45 minutes got chopped out.
Yeah, and there's a lot of really lazy stuff where, you know, you have those three women, the Oprah, Mindy Kaling, and Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for just a second.
Yeah.
This is like, to borrow one of your turns of phrase, this is what bumped me early on, is all three of them, but specifically Oprah. Because once you look at Oprah in a movie like this, and by way of context, she plays Mrs. Witch, I think, right? She's basically the goddess of time and space. So Oprah, basically.
Right.
Oprah is playing a less powerful version of Oprah in this movie, basically.
Right.
But you look at her and it's like Oprah, and she's got the crazy like the Tina Turner and Mad Max hair and the, you know, like the silver eyebrows or whatever. But you're just like, that's Oprah.
Yes.
And if like maybe this is just me, but I'm like, I can't look past that because all I'm seeing is Oprah like dress funny.
Yeah, and very, very big.
Yes.
Like, it felt
distracting,
silly.
like in a way that looks kind of goofy.
Yeah, and what I mean by that is when she is first seen, you're in a suburban backyard, and you have Reese Witherspoon, normal height, kids, normal height, and then Oprah appears to be like 30 feet tall in their backyard. And there's just something silly about it. I mean, I think they're going for grandiose, but it did not play that way for me.
Yes.
It was like, I bet this is how Oprah sees herself. That was my thought, actually. But, yeah, but then going to sort of with them, there was a bunch of things, but there was one moment where they're basically acting as these guides, right? And we're not going to spoil anything because we're not in a spoiler section. I don't even know how you really spoil this movie necessarily.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But so they're introduced to them, and then all of a sudden, like, Reese Witherspoon turns into this giant lettuce leaf with a face.
Yes.
Not kidding. And then the kids are flying on her back, and it's literally a scene ripped out of Avatar where they're like flying and there's these giant floating rocks and they're all filled with wonder, and then the boy's like, I can fly, guys, we can fly. So they're flying, and all of a sudden he can't fly. I don't know why, but now he can't. So then he falls and he lands in these flowers, and then that's over. Like it accomplished nothing. It was like, what was that about? And then later, the women are like, okay, you have to go to this thing. We can't go because our powers are running out. I'm like, what? Your power?
Yeah.
Like, what does that even mean? Like, you have powers?
Right.
Like nothing is explained. It's just like, well, this. I'm sure in the book this makes much more sense, but things just were explained in the moment as they were happening out of what felt like convenience to keep people away from things or to propel people into things. Chiefly, actually, which I thought was really funny, was Mindy Kaling's character, who she has transcended language.
Yeah.
So instead of being helpful and actually saying things that would, be helpful to the kids, she can only speak in quotes now.
Right.
And so, she'll say things, like I'm making this all up, but like, the first step is the first step into a larger step, like Gandhi,
Right.
India. Kind of thing. And then at one point, she starts speaking to the kids, saying her own words that are insanely helpful. And it's
Right.
because she is weakening her power. So
Right.
she becomes helpful when she's weak. And then at the end of the movie, when everything is resolved, she's still speaking of her own
Normal.
or her own words.
Right.
I was like, wait, what? Like, but her power's back. Like, never explained. Makes no sense. It's just that's what this movie is. It's just a bunch of that. All right.
Yeah. This is a series of books, and I have no memory of reading the first book, but I mean, obviously they're very popular. They've been around for however long, but I mean, the mythology that the movie's presenting is so up its own ass. Mm-hmm. That there's no way in for the audience, and that's what's so confounding to me, because I'm like, you're not explaining anything. You're like, oh, we're gonna test her over there. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's when you test her.
Right.
Basically, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now that being said, Chris Pine is terrific in this movie.
Yeah, he's great. I thought actually everybody was fine. I
liked all the kids. I liked the mom, Gugu Mbatha Raw. I didn't like Mindy Kaling or Oprah Winfrey or Reese Witherspoon.
No, I didn't like any of them. They tonally
Michael
did not.
Pena is in this.
I
I don't know why.
Wait, sorry, what's that?
Michael Pena.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was a weird scene, wasn't it? And then there's a scene like a character has sort of a turn, and I didn't understand the turn at all.
Right.
It felt like it happened because it was supposed to, or because Narnia did it. I don't know. Like, it just felt like this movie felt like Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland and Narnia put into a blender, basically.
That is the perfect way to sum it up. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't mean that as a discredit to the book again, because I don't recall reading it as a kid, but I know it's beloved, and it must be for a reason, and I'm sure the book. And a book's an easier way, you can explain things much easier in a book and get into people's internal journeys more into a book. But
right.
The Michael Pena scene, just as long as you brought it up, I just want to say his character was weird and made no sense. But I did appreciate they're at like this beach setting, and there's an ominous undercurrent to it. And I did think that came across pretty well. I thought that was pretty good.
Yes, I agree with
it. It made me uncomfortable.
It felt like a nightmare.
Yeah. In a really cool way.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, I mean, A Wrinkle in Time, I think it was expected. Well, I guess from what you're saying, it was expected to not do well. But I'm sure when they first, put it into production, they were hoping it would launch a franchise of some kind. It will not do that. Kind of a shame.
Yeah, it is too bad. I mean, and that's what I was trying to say at the very beginning is, you feel kind of bad for it in a way because there's a lot to root for, obviously, just in a filmmaking sort of sense. But also, like, I really do appreciate the earnestness of the film. Like, even in the end, where it ends up. I mean, it's the journey they're trying to have people go with this lead character, this junior high girl. Like, I appreciated it. It's just too bad the movie couldn't do it justice.
There we go. I think that sums up A Wrinkle in Time, which is here and gone at the box office.
Yep.
So let's take a little break, and then we'll talk some trailers and headlines.
Cool.
And we're back, and a couple months ago, Brian, you may recall that we saw the teaser trailer for Avengers Infinity War. And I watched it a ton of times. And on this very show, I said, you know what, Brian? I know there's going to be another trailer for this movie, but I don't care. I'm out. I want to preserve my sense of wonder. Do you remember me saying that?
I do. Yeah.
Well, I'm here to tell you right now, Brian, that they released the trailer this week. The full trailer. The final trailer for Avengers Infinity War. And I am a goddamn liar. God help me, I could not stop myself. I put a portion of the blame here on my cousin Hamza Moin, and I'm going to give him a shout out here because he woke me up by posting a thing on Facebook at like 6 a.m. or something crazy where he's like, here's the new Infinity War trailer. And what am I, made of stone, Brian?
Did he know, by the way, your stance on the last trailer?
I don't know if he did, but if he did, then he's even more of an ass. But obviously, you post a video on my wall at 6 a.m., I'm going to watch it. I'm vulnerable, Brian.
Yeah.
I'm emotionally weak. But I did watch it, and then I watched it about 700 more times after that.
Yeah. And?
I watched it a ton of times. I mean, what can I tell you? I mean, I can't get any more excited for this movie,
yeah.
You know? But I am very curious what you thought of this. Let's play some of the audio from it first.
The entire time I knew him, he only ever had one goal. To wipe out half the universe. If he gets all the Infinity Stones, he can do it with the snap of his fingers. Just like that.
Tell me his name again.
Thanos.
So, before they even released this trailer, Brian, Marvel announced that they were actually moving back the release of the movie, or moving up.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So it was supposed to come out first Friday in May. It will now come out 1 week earlier, so the last Friday in April. Mm-hmm. And that's big news because what that means is that it will be a day-and-date launch all over the world, meaning Disney gets to cut down on spoilers while making an extra week's worth of money.
That makes sense because a lot of people are speculating there could be some character deaths.
Yes.
So.
Well, what did you think of this trailer?
I liked it. Sometimes I feel, especially being on like a movie podcast, I have to sort of like amp up my enthusiasm for some of these Marvel things. Yeah. But I mean, just being true to myself, I gotta be me. I am not counting down the days. Like I'm not thinking about this movie. But I go to all the Marvel movies. I enjoy all the Marvel movies. I don't think about them the day after. That's kind of where I'm at. Like they're just like these fun, like, oh, nice. And I enjoy them for 2 hours. And then I just kind of, So with this trailer, I was sort of expecting, I know what I'm going to get. And I'll probably enjoy it. But I thought it had a lot of weight to it. Like a surprising amount of heaviness. And like I was worried that it was going to be another big villain comes down from outer space and it's almost too big for them and then they defeat it, and, but I got to give credit. Like I thought the trailer did a good job of making me feel like this was different. This one's got all the stakes worth, got all the marbles and, I'm in, I'm totally in. I mean, I was always in, but I was like, oh, well, how's this going to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is definitely a culminative aspect to certainly the marketing that makes it feel like the stakes will be much more real. I almost feel like Marvel, the Marvel Studios movies have sort of done it. They've faked out audiences so many times when it comes to the potential of deaths that now they have to back it up.
And because of that, for over so many movies, I mean, it's going to be heavy having to contend with that.
I mean, certainly, if one were to look at this trailer, I left it thinking I'm going to watch Captain America die with my own two eyes, and I'm going to be weeping like a damn infant.
Right.
I mean, you sure get that vibe from this trailer,
Yeah.
I will not be surprised if either Captain America or Iron Man are moved off the playing field in either this one or the next one. Mm-hmm. Which I mean, if that is to be the case, I mean, that'll be very effective.
Oh, for sure. Wait, now remind me. There's two of them?
Well, what they've said is Avengers 3 is Infinity War, and then there is Avengers 4.
Right.
They're not saying what it is, though.
Okay.
But it is coming out next year at this time.
Okay, I get confused because I remember, same with Justice League. There were supposed to be two of them, and then there's...
So Justice League was supposed to be 2.
Yeah.
And by the way, Zack Snyder is on social media, and he clearly has no Fs to give.
Yeah.
Because he's throwing all kinds of shade at Warner Brothers. I don't know if you saw this.
No.
But, yeah, like somebody showed him like a screen grab from BVS, and they were like, and there was some aspect of symbolism in there, and they were like, what was the symbolism of this? And he was like, oh, that was alluding to when Justice League was a 2-part movie. And then his next response is like hashtag until it wasn't. And I'm like, rare. So Zack Snyder, I don't think he cares much at this point about letting his feelings show. But that was Justice League. With this, they said originally it was going to be Infinity War Part 1 and Infinity War Part 2. They then changed that to say, no, Avengers 3 is Infinity War and Avengers 4 is Untitled.
I see.
Which I'm guessing the corpse of Iron Man is too much of a spoiler title, so they don't want to reveal that.
Yeah, like The Search for Spock or some title like that.
Yeah,
Like you wouldn't want to
exactly.
release that. Yeah.
The quest to bring back all the characters we killed. You know?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, there's certainly some degree of finality that they're promising, you know, which it's one of those things where you're like, oh man, I want the stakes to be real, but then you're like, oh my god, that means the stakes are going to be real, you know?
Yeah.
So that's definitely my prediction. I'm very curious if this bears out, is that they're going to kill off Doctor Strange.
Why is that?
Well, it feels like a good red herring, because if you notice, there's been no mention of like a Doctor Strange sequel or anything. So it's almost like they make you think, of course they're not going to kill off Doctor Strange. He's like a new character. Mm-hmm. And then they kill him off.
Yeah.
I'll probably be totally wrong, but
Yeah.
let's see what happens.
Let's mark it down. Let's see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I was wrong about not watching the next trailer for Avengers Infinity War.
Right.
So that's our trailer for this week. We also have some news, and because we have been so behind, I suppose, Brian, we should briefly talk about the Oscars, I guess.
It's one of those things, like in December, you're all interested in these award movies, right?
Yes.
And then in January, you sort of don't think about them so much. And then the Oscars and the awards happen, you're kind of half paying attention. And then it's like the day after, it's like you just stop caring or stop thinking about it, right? It just sort of like evaporates.
Yes.
But yeah, Best Picture, Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro.
Yes, and he won Best Director. I think I said this to you before. My preference would have been Get Out.
Me too. That's what I probably would have voted for.
But I am glad that Jordan Peele won an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay.
Me too. Yeah, that's...
Other than that, were there any... I mean, no big surprises, right? Allison Janney, Best Supporting...
Sam Rockwell, Best Supporting. Gary Oldman, Best Actor. Did you see Darkest Hour?
Yes, I did, yeah.
I gotta see that.
I met Gary Oldman for that movie, remember?
That's right. Wow, it feels like so long ago. I forgot it was for that movie.
Yeah. Him and Ben Mendelsohn. I mean, I think I said to you at the time that Gary Oldman is better than the movie.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah. In fact, we had an interview with Joe Wright about Darkest Hour on this show.
Right.
I feel like his performance elevates the film, which is, I mean, it's not a bad film, but it's just sort of run of the mill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, watching the movie, I was like, he should just clear room on his mantle because he's going to be getting Best Actor.
Right.
And he did indeed get that. So, kind of an ordinary show. I will say that I think Jimmy Kimmel is quite a good host.
I think so too. Yeah, I don't know.
This was his second year, right? 2
yeah,
in a row?
Yeah. He feels like he knows how to do a show that feels sort of spontaneous and but also sort of safe. Like he gives the illusion of being a little more punk rock than he is.
Right.
Or something, which is just kind of what a show like that needs. You know, to feel like it's doing something that's worth checking in to see what happens, but you know nothing crazy is really going to happen.
Exactly.
I thought it was funny, the whole jet ski thing. You know, for giving a jet ski to whoever would give the shortest speech.
I am glad to see Sam Rockwell get recognized. I mean, I've been a fan of his for since like Galaxy Quest. I think it's the first time I saw him. You know? No,
same. Yeah, he just seems like a cool guy, and
yeah,
he's done so much good work. It's nice to see it finally get recognized.
He was in, I don't know if you ever saw this movie. He was in a movie a couple of years ago called The Way, Way Back.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And that I remember watching that movie, and I'm like, man, I wish Sam Rockwell would be my friend.
Yeah. Yeah, he perfectly encapsulated that character of like an older guy that like a kid would look up to.
Yes.
And think is cool. Yeah.
And who's not an asshole.
Yes.
You know, because I remember watching that movie and I kept waiting for like the other shoe to drop.
Yes.
You know? So there's our belated Oscar meh.
Yeah. Wait, I just got to throw this out here. So last night Bill Hader hosted SNL. Did you see it?
I did, yeah.
And when he was Stefan during the news, and he was
I did not see that.
Oh, okay. So, you know, that the whole shtick is that he's this like, you know, very crazy person who knows all the weird clubs in New York, and they always have these bizarre, sort of very random sort of things that are in there. And that's the joke. And the joke tends to be that those things are written for him and he doesn't know what they are until he reads them on air. And that's why he's always cracking up. And
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah. And so he's always like, yeah, the hottest club now is called, you know, whatever. It features this and it features. And so
So Bill Hader doesn't know.
Correct.
Okay.
And so as he was doing that last night, every club, I think he listed 3 clubs, and every club he would say like it has, you know, like this thing filled with water, whatever, Roman J. Israel Esquire. And that was like the shtick. And so then by the 3rd time that the club had Roman J. Israel Esquire, he was like cracking up.
That's really funny.
But I was like, what a really, really random joke most people are not going to understand.
That's fine. You know, Roman J. Israel is one of those movies that, like, I hoped to like it more.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's one of those, it's like totally fine. Like, you know, Denzel Washington has a lot of movies where you're like, well, Denzel was good.
Right.
This is one of those. It's like John Q.
Yeah, wow. I forgot about that.
John Q, there's a deep cut.
Mm-hmm.
So, anywho, yeah. So those are the Oscars. And moving on. This is a movie that's probably not going to be nominated for Oscars, but to be honest, it's something I wasn't even remotely interested in. Well, that's not true. I was remotely interested in it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about Ready Player One, which is the new Steven Spielberg movie coming out in just a few weeks, right? Isn't it end of this month?
Yeah, I think 29th, maybe.
So, I mean, I'm assuming you and I are on the same page here, where it's like, well, Steven Spielberg's doing it, so I'll watch it.
Mm-hmm. But the trailers weren't doing it for us.
Right. That was the weird thing. It was weird. I was watching the trailer and I was like, it didn't feel very Spielbergy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I was surprised at anybody when they debuted it as a surprise offering at South by Southwest like a week ago, and the people who were in attendance just were lavishing praise on it.
Mm-hmm. It turned me around. I'm like anticipating it now, which I wasn't.
Yes. I mean, they're lavishing praise on it in a way where they're like, "This is one of the best movies I've seen this year."
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that, and I'm like, "Wow, really?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, have you read the book? I can't remember.
Yeah, I listened to the audiobook.
And you were not a fan.
It's all right. Like, I mean, I don't. A lot of people have the problem with the whole nostalgia dropping. You know, like, look, there's Pac-Man. Look, there's whatever, and that like annoys people. That doesn't really annoy me.
Okay.
It's just it was my biggest beef with it was Will Wheaton narrated it,
Okay.
And his interpretation of the character made him like a guy I kind of want to punch in the face, which is not Will Wheaton, but just the way the character came off. He's like a guy who's good at everything. You know, they talk about like a Mary Sue sort of character.
Sure.
It would be like, the only way I could win this was to play the most difficult game of Pac-Man ever. And fortunately, I'm the best Pac-Man player in the world. Like that happened like literally 5 times in the book. Like, fortunately, I'm the best whatever. And then there was no problem. He beat everything. Wow. So I assumed in Spielberg's hands that the story would be, refined a little bit.
Right. Yeah, that's what I hear is that the movie just kind of drops you in and dispenses with a lot of the sort of the table setting.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, and I saw some tweet also that was like, well, I think we forgot that this movie was made by Steven Spielberg. A lot of people. I mean, because I think for us it just looked like a lot of visual noise.
Yes,
and it looked like the things that you and I don't tend to respond to. It's a lot of like CGI and just a lot of crap going on that you can't really follow. And that's the impression I was getting of it. But hearing what we've heard and then hearing the like, dude, Spielberg being Spielberg, like, okay, well, that I love. So
yes,
yeah.
So potential cause for optimism with Ready Player One. We'll see.
And you know what? I'm also looking forward to hearing an Alan Silvestri score.
That's right, Alan Silvestri, not John Williams.
Yeah. Did you hear the theme?
I heard the one you sent me. Is that what you're talking about?
No, they actually. I wasn't even setting up for that, but they dropped the actual theme from the movie on YouTube the other day.
Oh, okay.
And it is a really bizarre but kind of cool blend of Silvestri sort of doing Williams.
He's riffing on Williams
a little bit. Like it did sound kind of like Silvestri, sort of like his Forrest Gump kind of stuff, a little sweet. But it also had these like Williams horns that he was like, I know what you want this to sound like, Steven.
I honestly, I didn't even realize John Williams wasn't doing it. I just assumed, I was like, oh, I'm looking forward to a new John Williams score in a few weeks,
Yeah. I don't know if it was, too busy, or he had a health thing last year too, and he had the Post that he was doing and Star Wars, and might have just been too much. He's
a busy guy, and he's like 86.
Yeah, we can give it to him.
So he's allowed to slow down.
Yeah.
For folks, for those of you who are wondering what we were talking about earlier, Brian sent me a YouTube video of the rejected theme from Ready Player One.
Yeah.
It's not actually the rejected theme from Ready Player One, but if you are interested, it is very funny. Go to YouTube, type in "rejected theme from Ready Player One," and you will laugh.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it at the end of the episode.
Oh, there you go. So keep listening.
Yeah.
Speaking of Steven Spielberg, here's a former associate of Steven Spielberg who is back in the news. I'm talking about Shia LaBeouf, who it feels like every once in a while we got to trot him out because it's kind of fun to pick on him a little bit.
I worry about him a little bit.
Well, I mean he's how old is he now? Like 30?
I bet he's a little older than that, right?
I'm actually curious.
He is. I've just typed it in, and I'm drawing
31.
this out. 31, yeah.
31. Wow. Okay. So he's back in the news because he's got a new movie coming out called Borg McEnroe.
Mm-hmm.
Where he plays John McEnroe. But of course, whenever he's talking anything up, he has to talk up the stuff that he's been involved in.
Yeah.
And so he has sort of walked back from the ledge where he, if you remember, torched the bridge from Spielberg Town.
Yeah. Through
like,
Crystal Skull, yeah.
Because of Crystal Skull, because of Transformers. I mean, Steven Spielberg basically handed him his movie star career.
Mm-hmm.
But he's now slightly humbler as he stares down the barrel of a career, spent toiling in anonymity potentially.
Mm-hmm.
But it says here, let me see if I can find that quote.
And also a future of having art installations where he sits in a room where people can come in there and punch him if they want.
Yeah,
Remember that?
Yeah, he's that's so strange.
Yeah.
So here's the quote. He says, Michael Bay and Steven Spielberg did a lot for me. I'm not going to poo-poo those dudes anymore. Yeah, good job. But he's talking about Transformers. He says, my hang-up with those films was that they felt irrelevant. They felt dated as F. And he's not wrong there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's all about how you say stuff.
Yeah.
But definitely, I think his time as a box office draw is probably over. But I love the fact that his next movie is a biopic based on his own life called Honey Child, where he stars in the movie about his life as his own father.
So did he?
Which is the most Shia LaBeoufiest headline of all time.
Yeah, and who is not, from what I understand through interviews and whatnot, like a figure necessarily in his life anymore. So it's not.
That's correct.
A good relationship.
That's correct.
So that's one way of working stuff out.
I suppose. It's, I feel like, if he manages to get like sort of a decent acting career, then you'll be like, well, he had a patch, but he got through it. But what a minefield being a child actor is, you can point to Shia LaBeouf and like Lindsay Lohan as exhibits A and exhibits B for why you don't want your kids to go into acting.
Yeah.
Because it messes you up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that has already been shot and is like that's coming soon.
It's in production, I believe. It's because Lucas Hedges, who was in what's it called? The Casey Affleck movie.
Oh,
Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah.
So Lucas Hedges is playing Shia LaBeouf, and it's called Honey Boy, not Honey Child. But yeah, I think they're gonna film soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's a thing that realistically neither of us will be seeing. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Moving on. Hey, we were just talking about Ava.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Ava DuVernay.
Yeah.
A few minutes ago. She's got a movie set in the DC universe coming up, Brian.
Yeah.
You know what that means? This movie's probably not going to get made.
Do you think it's all going to shift once they kind of figure it out?
Well, what tends to happen with these DC Cinematic Universe movies is they announce about 70% more than the ones that actually get made.
Right.
Now, I'll be honest, this is one that I am both excited and trepidatious about. Excited because it's actually a property that I have wanted to see get recognized and turned into something big for decades at this point. I've been a fan. And I'm talking about The New Gods, which is a property created by Jack Kirby in the 1970s. Mm-hmm. However, given what Ava DuVernay did with a massive budget on A Wrinkle in Time, i.e. make a just kind of a huge mess, I'm concerned, shall we say.
Well, and you wonder too, does DC, it feels like this is a really pivotal time for them.
Yes.
Moving forward, and this feels like something that they knew would make like a good headline.
Yes.
Right? This pairing and whatnot. But do you think they have a plan?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Clearly they don't.
Right.
They keep shifting gears every couple months over there with those DC movies, it feels like.
So it's very possible, like you've already said, that this movie might not happen.
I would say the odds at this point are 60-40 that it doesn't get made.
Oh, wow. Well, now, and I have to admit my complete ignorance to this, The New Gods. I don't know this at all. So what's like the log line of this?
Oh, boy. Okay. So The New Gods is sort of... so Jack Kirby, if you don't know, is like the co-creator of the Marvel Universe. So in the 70s, he jumped over to DC, and he came up with this kind of massive multi-title mythology, which is collectively called the Fourth World. But the gist of it is you have these two warring planets. One of them is New Genesis, which is sort of the planet of light, and Apocalypse, which is the planet of darkness. And Apocalypse is ruled by a despot named Darkseid, who is Well, he's sort of like the inspiration for Thanos, which is kind of funny now because now if they make this movie, people will be like, "Oh, it's ripping off Thanos," but he actually came first. So, what happened is that I'm like trying to boil this down, but it is actually a terrific story. Yeah. So here's the gist of it. These two worlds, they created a pact for a period of truce, and to cement that pact, the ruler of Apocalypse and the ruler of New Genesis each exchanged sons, like their child. So Darkseid's son was raised on New Genesis, and Highfather, who was the leader of New Genesis, his son was raised on Apocalypse. And so the core mythology of the New Gods is that Orion, who is Darkseid's son, is raised on New Genesis, and he comes to realize what his father is, who is, the most evil person in the universe. So it's the war between the father and the son.
Okay.
So it is very much, at least thematically, a forebear of Star Wars.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if George Lucas was aware of the New Gods mythology, but there's enough similarities there where you could certainly see some tendrils make their way into Star Wars, Because Darkseid is very much a Darth Vader type character. And then, of course, the father and the son, and then, Orion calls on the Astro Force as opposed to the Force.
Oh, funny. Wait, now, Darkseid, he was in Batman v Superman, right?
Darkseid was alluded to.
Alluded to. Oh, I see. He never makes an appearance, or even in Justice League?
No.
Ah.
So the character Steppenwolf in Justice League is like one of Darkseid's foot soldiers.
Ah, I got it.
So I think the plan was that Justice League would introduce Steppenwolf, and then, they would have gone to Justice League 2, and that's where Darkseid would have showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag until it wasn't.
Right.
So clearly going a different way, Ava DuVernay, I mean, she's definitely got a vision. I think, it's smart to get somebody like her on board. I'm curious if Warner Brothers will give this mythology the sort of the runway that it needs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be cheap.
Yeah, I literally knew nothing about this story. That's why I asked. And I figure there's probably some listeners, too, that needed a little...
Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds kind of cool. But it sounds epic.
I'll be honest. It's a terrific mythology. Even if you make it completely separate from the DC universe, it's still a terrific mythology.
Yeah, totally.
Because it as initially created, it was something that could have been. I think when Kirby initially envisioned it, it was meant to sort of stand apart, but then they wove it in through like Superman's other stuff. But Darkseid, the character, has gone on to be like the DC villain of the whole universe, and it's created by Jack Kirby. And I have very distinct memories of back in like 2000. DC reprinted this whole run that Kirby did in these big like kind of phone book like black and white collections, and I would be riding the train into the city, and I remember I would be listening to the soundtrack of Gladiator, reading the New Gods comics, and to me that music is so evocative of what Kirby created.
Wow.
Like in my mind, when I hear this is true, when I hear the Gladiator score, I think of New Gods, not the movie.
Huh. Wow. So you are just going to be disappointed.
I'm going in expecting to be disappointed because either it does not get made, in which case I'm disappointed, or it does get made and it in no way measures up to the movie I've seen in my head.
Yeah. Well, let's hope.
Right. But it's ripe for an adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I think. In all honesty, we're talking about Gladiator. My time machine casting would have been Russell Crowe, circa Gladiator as Orion.
Oh, I saw you post about that, and that makes even more sense now why you would associate him with that.
Yeah, that's absolutely perfect. You know? But those of you listening, if you're not familiar with the New Gods, watch the Justice League cartoon. Because they, the one from 2001, because they had several episodes tying in with this, and it presents this stuff in a way that's palatable and that really draws home the sort of epicness of it. As I recall, Michael Ironside was the voice of Darkseid. I think Ron Perlman was the voice of Orion. Pretty well done. Good stuff.
Cool.
I'm kind of inclined to bust that out now after talking to you.
Yeah.
But speaking of mythologies that are rife for exploitation in all manner of ways, we have Star Wars news coming up. But let's take a little break first. All right, we're back, and Brian, I hear some music, so I think that means we have some Star Wars news.
Indeed, we do. Well, now we were talking about this Star Wars Rebels, the Disney TV series. I saw the pilot, and I did not go beyond that. But
Really?
You have kept up with it a little bit, and it just ended recently, right?
It did.
Yeah.
Made me very sad.
Yeah. Okay. So, and you weren't there every week, right? I mean, but you.
I wasn't. So I did not watch the show religiously, but that was not by design. It was just sort of my life doesn't allow for regular TV watching. But I did try to keep up with it as best I could. And so what I was kind of doing was like, I would watch like certain key episodes once I would find out that they were key, with an eye towards, once the entire series is out, I can go through it. So I mean, I've basically they have the first 3 seasons on Blu-ray, so I've watched all of those. I haven't watched this final season that just ended, which is the series ender. But I'm aware of what happened.
Okay.
And this is some good Star Wars.
Okay.
And I'll echo what I've said to you many times over the years about the Clone Wars cartoon show. That is some darn good Star Wars, and so is this. I mean, these TV people are putting stuff out there that's really expanding the boundaries of the franchise in terms of the concepts that they have available to pull from in the future. But above and beyond that, they've told really compelling stories with a cast of characters that we've grown to really care for. And these are separate from obviously the key core characters from any previous iteration of the franchise. So that all props to them for managing that.
Yeah, I've always I was never really into the extended universe. I had a hard time immediately falling in love with new characters in the Star Wars universe. Like, they never felt authentic to me.
Yes.
That's why I didn't grow up reading the books, and I know a lot of people have, and then those characters have become just as authentic to them. And I'm a little jealous of it, to be honest. And with this, watching the pilot, I was like, yeah, that was fun, but I don't feel much toward these guys. But like you said, you have grown to really love these people, and I don't know. I need to give one of these things a shot eventually.
I think Rebels is one of those shows that at least for me, it took maybe, I'm going to say like 6 episodes to fully get what they were doing. And to sort of be on board with the characters. I think what helped as far as that goes also is I was watching with my kids, and I feel like a broken record because I lean into this so often on this show. But again, I was experiencing it through them.
Yeah.
And I think that helps because when, like you're saying, your sort of resistance toward the new characters, because you're like, well, I want to see what those people are doing that I like. When you're a kid, you're less about that.
Territorial.
You're less resistant to change.
Yeah.
And the truth is that they did Dave Filoni, who is the executive producer of the show, really did a masterful job of making Rebels matter in the grand scheme of things. And without spoiling anything, the series is set shortly before A New Hope.
Okay.
And one thing that we know, if you pay attention to the Easter eggs, is that the ship in this series, the Ghost, is among the ships at the Battle of Scarif in Rogue One.
Okay.
So we know that the Rogue One characters were involved there. The Rebels characters were involved there. But the finale. See, I don't want to spoil anything. The finale doesn't remain pre A New Hope.
Okay, well, that's kind of cool.
So the bulk of the series is there, but the finale jumps ahead to a point after or concurrent with what we do know, and sort of gives a sense of like these characters' journey may continue even if the series is over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Certain characters, let's put it that way.
You kind of make me wish it was a movie.
Right.
Sit down.
Yeah,
for 2 hours.
it's an investment of time, no doubt. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but I think each season is something like 13 episodes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's
so
not terrible.
It's actually, I mean, let me.
13, and then what? Like 22 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's not too bad.
So how many Star Wars Rebels episodes were there? I'm curious.
Yeah. How many years has it been on?
75 over 4 seasons.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's substantial.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize that myself. Yeah, because it was about 22 episodes. Okay, yeah. So 22 for seasons 2, 3, and 4, and then 13 for the first one.
Wow.
But I'll tell you, because Clone Wars, which was a great show, didn't really get to end. Partially because it got canceled, right? But partially because you can't really end that show because the entire series is a prologue to episode 3.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whereas with this, you have the ability, because these are completely new characters, where you can have a sense of finality. And that was the one thing that I really appreciated during this final season, was this sense of, okay, things are ending now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like when you watch like the last 10 episodes of a serialized show, you have a sense that they're starting to wrap things up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're steering toward something.
Exactly. And certainly to see a children's program do that, that's, I applaud that. I mean, it's a family show, so I mean, it's not going to have the same degree of sophistication as the films, for example, but I think it's absolutely worth watching. If you're listening to this and you've never, if you're like, oh, TV animation, I don't want to give it a shot, watch Star Wars Rebels, you will like it.
All right, that's
If
quite
you're a
an
Star Wars
endorsement.
fan, you will like it. What's that?
That's quite an endorsement.
Yeah, I think it's terrific. The show ended, and I'm like, man, I get to work on the next series, whatever it's going to be. I'll watch it.
Cool. All right.
And I can't remember if I've said this on this show before, but I mean, I've certainly said it on social media. If they haven't considered it, why aren't they considering doing an animated series set in the gap between episodes, 6 and 7?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they must be.
Like, it's a no-brainer because we know now with certitude that those missing 30 years will not be filled in a feature film for Han, Luke, and Leia.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you got to lose? Let's do an animated series with those characters. You're going to get so much audience buy-in just because it's those characters.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm outing myself a little bit, but I played Battlefront 2, which I know a lot of people were protesting because EA is awful. Okay. And I played it on PlayStation, and you begin on the side of the Empire, and you're on Endor as the Death Star blows up.
Oh, no kidding.
And you're like, oh. Like, all the characters are like, uh-oh, kind of a thing. And it does then go forward through this one Empire character's journey in the weeks and years after Return of the Jedi. But it's a video game, you know what I mean? It would be really interesting to see a TV series or a movie really dig into that.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at a gap of whatever. I think it's like 30 years, right?
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
I mean, look at all the stuff that happened, right? You could do an entire series before Ben Solo is even born.
Right.
You don't even need to get to the First Order.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, you could do... Again, I have to imagine that the people in the halls of Disney are having this exact same conversation. I'm not smart enough to be the only person who's thought of this.
Right.
Right? But you think about it. A canonical animated series featuring the beloved original trilogy characters, it's a no-brainer.
Oh, totally. Totally.
You know? Make it happen, Disney.
That tends to happen with us, right? We throw this stuff out there, hypothetical, and then it happens.
And then it happens. We reshape the universe to our ends.
Without getting paid for it. It's great.
That's that we got to fix that.
Yeah.
But what else? What else is going on?
Well, turns out that they are making a new Star Wars TV show live action, and we don't know when it takes place, so it very well could take place in the years that we're saying are ripe. But it's going to be helmed by Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
Right? So what's he going to do? He's going to... What is his...
He's going to write and direct the pilot.
Write and direct. Okay. And then probably produce the thing.
Yeah, and, he'll be responsible for shaping the show. I doubt he would be a showrunner or something, but you never know.
Dude, Jon Favreau, man. Like, from Swingers, right, to, like, making these... And I remember when he did Zathura, I was really rooting for him, just because I really liked him.
Yes.
And that was a movie that just didn't make much of a dent, but I was like, this is cool. This feels different. Yes. And it's just really cool to see where he's gone now, and his movies just don't disappoint.
He's kind of Disney's go-to guy now.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's so responsible with the initial thrust of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then the Jungle Book, which we both loved.
He is the grandfather of the MCU.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember we played that audio on this show when I asked him about that back when I interviewed him for Chef.
Mm-hmm. I like Chef too. It's a small movie.
Chef was a good movie. Yeah. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, it's you see his name and you're like, it's probably going to be good.
Yeah, I think I always knew that, and I've loved him since Swingers, and I love Made, which is like a way underseen, almost spiritual sequel to Swingers with him and Vince Vaughn, which is hilarious. But I remember it really solidified for me when I saw Jungle Book, because I didn't care about that movie. I didn't have any bad feelings for it. I just didn't care. And then when I saw it and loved it, I was like, oh, this guy is like the real deal.
That was another one I told you to watch. I was like, you need to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's solid. So I anticipate what he's going to do in the Star Wars universe for sure. And this is going to go for the Disney streaming platform, whatever that's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be called Disney Owns You. That's
yeah.
Because it's funny because you got all these like fly-by-night streaming operations are springing into big existence now. Like, CBS has theirs, and Universal's like, we're going to do ours, and everybody. And it's like the one streaming platform you're like, yes, that's going to be a massive success is Disney's.
Yep. Yeah.
So, but we don't know anything about this show.
No.
So if we're looking at what's mapped out so far, we've got the Game of Thrones people, Benioff, etc., doing their trilogy,
cinematic movie.
Cinematic trilogy. We got Rian Johnson, as far as we know, doing his trilogy.
Yep.
We've got Jon Favreau doing his TV show. And then that's it, right? Am I missing anything?
That's all I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah. Really weird.
Mm-hmm. Did they actually officially... This feels like a dream now. Did they officially announce an Obi-Wan standalone movie?
Not yet.
Or that's just something everybody wants?
Everyone just sort of assumes it's happening.
Yeah, okay. I couldn't remember if that was something that they finally conceded, but okay.
Yeah, I think the closest we've heard is that sort of like... off the record, it's something they're waiting till after episode 9 to announce.
Okay, sure.
But no one has said anything. I mean, I would assume, and this is just me totally speculating, that Disney, all the folks involved know that fans want this.
Mm-hmm.
They know that Ewan McGregor is 100% on board.
Yeah.
As he said repeatedly, to the point where he's like, it sounds like I'm begging for work. I would assume that he's already signed for something and there's like a total NDA.
Sure.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll see. Hope so. It seems almost inevitable, but yeah.
It does, yeah. But yeah, so we don't know anything about this show.
Nope.
Yeah. What else? What else is going on?
John Williams in a recent interview seemed to basically, I don't know if he said it definitively, but seemed to be like saying that episode 9 was going to be his bow out with the
I think
Star
he's
Wars
like 9 and done. I think I've done enough or something to that effect.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact quote, but I mean, and it makes complete sense. I mean, that feels
again,
like
he is 80 plus years, 86 years old. So
yeah. So, and I mean that feels fitting. The Skywalker saga.
So here's the exact quote. And you have to. There's no way I can emulate the absolute like soft spoken, like everything sounds like covered with rose petals the way John Williams says it. You know,
he does have a soothing voice.
He does, right? He says, "We know J.J. Abrams is preparing one now for next year that I will hopefully do for him, and I look forward to it. It will round out a series of 9 and be quite enough for me." So F those guys. All of that.
Yeah,
right in the ear.
Yeah.
It's funny because he gave some quote in the same interview where he's like I composed all that music for Star Wars and I don't really understand why people like it so much, and it's like, yeah, shut up, John Williams.
Really?
I mean, something to that effect where it's very like I just think it's just music,
Oh, I see.
Yeah, not like people are stupid for liking it, but like I mean, I wonder if during like his live concert, which again I had the very good fortune of attending with you. I wonder if the moment when people bust out the lightsabers, if he's like, son of a bitch again with this. Like,
what's funny though? I've seen him multiple times now, and every time that happens, he always turns around and looks at it.
Yeah,
and it seems, I don't know if it's a performance, but it does seem like he's drinking it in and sort of tickled by it or touched by it or something.
I mean, you gotta wonder. I mean, I'm only joking because I would imagine that John Williams knows just how much, the breadth of his output, but specifically these movies, how much they mean to people. I can't imagine that he would ever look down his nose at that. But you wonder if there's a little part of him that's like William Shatner in that SNL sketch where he's like, talking to the Star Trek fans.
Yeah, and it's funny, I wasn't even going to bring this up because I was like, this is too nerdy. And I'm like, well, if there's any place to do it, it's here.
It's with me.
Yeah. I listened to a podcast with Ryan Johnson specifically about the score for Last Jedi with some sort of movie score podcast. And he was saying, which I thought was interesting, he never spotted the movie with John Williams.
Wow.
Yeah, John Williams was given a cut of the movie, and the first time Johnson heard the score was on the stage.
That's amazing.
Which there's like ways you could read into that, or also like, hey man, like just let him go home. Like he's a little, what I mean? Like doesn't need to be shuttling all around Los Angeles. Let him do his thing where he does his thing. And he'll show up and do his thing. And you wonder if, he's slowing down a little bit.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at that a couple different ways. If you're Ryan Johnson, number one, you're probably like, what am I supposed to say to John effing Williams?
True.
Right?
True.
But the other thing you wonder is if you're Ryan Johnson, that's the one aspect of this movie that you could experience as a member of the audience.
Yeah. Yeah. It also made me wonder, I mean, did that happen with J.J. Abrams?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know.
I mean, I will say this, especially having now watched The Last Jedi numerous times now, I've really grown to embrace the new thematic material that Williams introduced into, with the sequel trilogy.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
I mean, there's certain, there's the March of the Resistance and then the Rey theme and the Kylo Ren theme. I mean, to me, that's just part of this amazing tapestry now,
Mm-hmm. I mean, that other stuff is woven into us from a very, very early age. So it's hard to accept new things and understand their place. But rewatching Last Jedi and seeing how it's all peppered throughout, you're like, oh, I get it now.
I mean, and I'll tell you, I mean, I and maybe it's there and I just don't remember it, but it's hard for me to recall new thematic material in the prequels that sustained in the same way.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm trying to think of
You know
something
what I
now,
mean?
but I can't
Like
really.
I'm trying to think of like an Anakin theme.
I know there's their theme, like a love theme.
Yeah, there's like the love theme, and then there's like the Anakin as a child theme.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
But-
yeah.
But that doesn't move past the first movie, as far as I know.
Yeah, and Duel of the Fates, which is epic.
Duel of the Fates, which comes back in the third one.
Yeah. Or comes back in the second one also,
Does it really?
when he's about to kill the Sand People.
Yes, you're right. Oh, good call.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to doing our Attack of the Clones commentary. By the way,
Yeah.
that's coming up in a few months.
Yeah, and then I guess briefly we were going to mention that Last Jedi is now out for home consumption.
Yes. So have you consumed?
I consumed it all. I actually I didn't rewatch the movie, but I watched the whole thing with the commentary. I watched the feature length 90-minute behind the scenes documentary. I watched the deleted scenes. And I gotta say, look, it took me a while to come around to this movie, and I still feel like I have things that are always gonna like hitch me a little bit. But listening to the commentary, I highly recommend. If you have any interest in it at all, highly recommend it, because even if I'm still not 100% sold on all the execution, and I'll still own up to that. But hearing Rian Johnson talk through his process and his thinking and what he was setting out to do and why he did it, it really made me appreciate what he was up against and what he put out there. I mean, he put a lot of thought into this.
A lot of thought, yeah.
And even it's totally fair if people don't like it. They don't have to. But you can't say that he wasn't doing his damnedest.
Yeah, somebody on Facebook yesterday, because I made a comment on Facebook where I've rewatched The Last Jedi twice just this week now that it's on available on streaming, and I said, I've gone up by a whole letter grade. I had it at a B+ when I reviewed it. To me, it's a solid A at this point. Mm-hmm. And I said this on the show, I've said it repeatedly everywhere else, but I'm like, I think once time passes, once tempers go by, I think people will really view it as one of the best Star Wars movies.
Yeah, I realized as I was watching it with the commentary, so getting to sort of relive the film, but also listening to him talk through what I was looking at.
Yes.
It really still, I mean, this is what, my fourth time watching it or something, like really helped him to be like, look, like I know you, Brian, as a Star Wars fan, have something locked in your head what a Star Wars movie should be, but like this is what it is, and it is very thoughtful, and it helped me to appreciate it even more. And I think it's just going to take that for me for some time with Star Wars films. They're going to take a minute for me to accept
it's
what they are
because
on their own terms.
Somebody who did not like the film commented that, you watch that documentary, you can just see how totally in over his head Rian Johnson was. And I was like, I did not get that sense at all in any of it.
No.
I was quite the opposite. In fact, there's the Brian's referring to this 90-minute documentary called The Director and the Jedi, which is really, in my opinion, one of the best of these type of behind-the-scenes features I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. It really takes us from production commencing right to the end. But the sense I got of Rian Johnson is, again, just the opposite of the idea that he's in over his head. I mean, I was amazed at how completely in control he seemed.
I completely agree with you. Like watching that, I felt overwhelmed watching it.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, he is. I've always liked the guy, but my admiration for his accomplishment like skyrocketed after watching that documentary, because
I totally agree. Yeah.
I mean, watching the commentary makes me appreciate the story, or at least what he was setting out to do and the work that he put into it and the thought. But watching him, the undertaking of making the movie is, I think, really well encapsulated in this documentary, and it makes you appreciate. I was like, could I have done that? I don't know, man. Like, this might have crushed me, the weight of it and the enormity of it. I mean, it's all the sets, and they talk a lot with his producer, and they're just like, this is like one of the most sets ever built for a film, and all the things they actually. I'm sort of getting caught up in it now, but it really made me appreciate he never looked out of control either, or like it was out of his control. I mean, he looks tired by the end, but so does everybody.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. Anyway, I'm talking a lot. I want to hear you.
There's a very touching moment where it's him near the end of production, and he's sitting there just sort of taking it in, and he's like, I'm thinking about how we've got like this left, and then we're done, and I'm becoming sad because I know this experience is almost over, and I'm never going to have an experience like this again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I mean, that's true. You know what I mean? Like say what you want. If you are one of the directors of the Star Wars episodes, if nothing else, like that's your place in history forever. You know?
Yeah.
I also thought there were some really nice moments where where they have Frank Oz come on set and he's operating the Yoda puppet, and you see Mark Hamill just sort of getting emotional. But even more than that, they did stuff where the camera is at a distance and you see Rian Johnson interacting with the various actors, but specifically with Mark Hamill, and I think that's sort of woven throughout is his relationship with Mark Hamill, and there's a real sense of genuine affection between the two of them. And there's a great moment where it's the scene where Luke is watching the Jedi Temple burn, and he kind of, he does his thing, and Rian Johnson kind of goes up to him, and it's at a distance. You see, he says something in his ear, and he kind of just puts his arm around him, and I just found the closeness of that moment very compelling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's another moment where, again, they're at a distance, and you see the camera is at a distance, but you can hear the audio where he tells him. So Rian Johnson tells Mark Hamill, by the way, this movie, it's going to be called The Last Jedi. And he's like, oh, that's me. Like Mark Hamill's saying that.
Yeah.
And it's this little thing. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. Both. Yeah.
And I thought both of those were just very sweet moments.
Yeah.
And then in the commentary, there's a bit. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No.
Where it's the scene where Benicio del Toro betrays, Finn and Rose, right?
Yeah.
And they pay him whatever, and he's DJ, that's the character. He's like, well, you shoot them today, they shoot you tomorrow. It's all the same thing. And Finn is like, you're wrong. And Rian Johnson is like joking. He's like, originally I had this whole thing written where I'm like, well, wrong and rich, or he's like something stupid. I don't even remember what I wrote. But instead, Benicio del Toro had to just be like, maybe, you know. And how he is, and Rian Johnson is just so effusive of his praise for Benicio del Toro. He's like, what he came up with was so much better than anything I could have written. And just, I mean, you can really sense the joy he has watching this film. And he recorded it before the movie came out. And I'm almost like 2 weeks later, it would be like, listen, this is what I was trying to do with this.
Toward the end with Luke. Yes. He's like, well, I think that's when he brings it up. He's like, I don't know, I'm curious to talk to people about this.
Yeah. He's like, by the way, nobody's seen it yet. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm biased. I love this movie, but I think the coterie of behind the scenes features is really fantastic. The deleted scenes also. I don't know if you had a chance to see those.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those were. I really. They were all rightfully cut, I believe, for pacing and things and whatnot. But I really love the one where Finn and Rose and Del Toro are undercover.
Yes. Tom Hardy is in the
the elevator. I thought there was like a nice thrilling aspect to it, and then there was some nice comedy.
I totally agree with you. It was smart to cut it.
Yeah.
But it was a fun little moment.
Yeah.
It's almost like a lost scene of, like it's something you would see in like a comic book or something, like between the scenes kind of, and even the thing with Phasma, they sort of, the original version of Finn's fight with Phasma was a little bit more extended. I have to say, I think the version in the movie works better.
The way as is?
Yes. Like, I basically, again, without spoiling anything, they do a whole thing where, Finn kind of calls her out for, what he saw happen with her on Starkiller Base, and then like the other stormtroopers involved. It felt like too much.
Yeah,
It felt like a story in and of itself when we really need to get moving.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Totally. And that's what they all feel like. They all feel like decent moments, but you can understand why, to keep momentum going, they were cut.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, and it's funny, too, at the end when you think Finn has fallen down like a chasm, and then he like comes back up and surprises.
Yes, I was thinking of you.
Yeah, and he surprises Phasma and hits her. He's like, "What's up?" And then hits her in the face. He's like, "That's my Back to the Future 2 moment." I was like, "Oh, holy crap! I didn't even like think of that."
Totally. As soon as he said that, I was like, "Duh!" And then I was like, "Oh man, I got to talk to Brian about that. He'll get a kick out of it."
I thought that was funny.
One last piece of Star Wars news, Brian. This is just picking up on something we were talking about last time. Remember the $500 Jabba sail barge that Hasbro's trying to get you to pony up for? So they need 5,000 backers, and so far they have 2,787 of those backers, with 16 days to go in that campaign.
That's quite a bit. That's
That's
how much
more
was
than
it?
I would have expected, to be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of people really want a $500 sail barge.
$500, and it's huge.
A trophy symbolizing their eternal virginity.
I'm impressed that they have that many, to be honest. 5,000 is quite an ask.
That's insane. Yeah, 5,000 people paying $500 each.
Wow. Well,
yeah. So we'll keep you posted. Hey, maybe, and this is, I have no dog in this fight other than what I can only call morbid curiosity.
yeah, I actually kind of like now that this is like a thing we got going on in the background. I'm
Yeah.
curious to see if this works out.
Where's it at next time for all the people who are excited about it? But that wraps up Star Wars news for this installment, and with the end of Star Wars news comes the end of this installment.
Yeah. And I got to say, Zachy, I mean, for knowing that you're not feeling so great, I forgot while we're doing this selfishly, because I've enjoyed this conversation. You sound good. I appreciate you hanging in there so we could do this.
I'm hopped up on all kinds of goofballs right now. So if I wave my hand in front of my face, it leaves a multicolored trail. Which is kind of interesting.
Four crusties.
I don't know what I said. I hope nothing racist or anti-Semitic. But we'll find out depending on how much Brian feels like editing.
Right.
Brian will be like, never mind.
Yeah.
I didn't say any of it.
That's funny.
But we will be back in a few short weeks. We'll be talking about Pacific Rim 2, and we'll also be talking about Ready Player One. So lots of fun stuff coming up.
Yeah.
And we also have a whole host of brand new movie commentaries coming this year. I guess I can announce it right now. In celebration of the 10th anniversary of the MCU, we will be talking through Iron Man, the movie that started it all. So that one is going to be mainly, I think, Brian listening to me talk about how much I loved Iron Man
Yeah, it sounds good to
before
me.
everybody else did. I'll be like, back in my day, this is what Iron Man used to be like, you know?
Yeah.
But we also have lots more commentaries coming up, Brian. This is a year of anniversaries.
Yeah, a lot. You know, it's funny. I was doing like a backup of my computer to a hard drive, and I was going through I back up some of our episodes and whatnot, and I was surprised how many commentaries we've done. I had no idea.
Yeah, and I need to give a shout out here to Tom McClellan, one of our listeners, who just messaged me on Twitter the other day saying that he just finished getting through all of our commentaries, and says he loves hearing us talk about them because A, they're movies that he loves, and B, we're not spending our time just shitting all over them. We come generally from a place of enthusiasm.
I appreciate that.
To which I said, "Did you hear our episode 1 commentary?"
He's like, I got one more left.
Yeah, I was like, that might be the exception that proves the rule.
That was the one where I went in all positive and I left angry.
Yeah, that's why I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, we are for sure doing Attack of the Clones in a few weeks, and I'm in training like Rocky in Russia, because I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to say about that movie that'll be remotely positive. So you will experience it along with us, audience.
Yeah, and Lucasfilm is in the limousine chasing you as you run through the snow, but you
That's right.
you outpace them and they crash into a bank.
That's kind of, it's funny because right now we're in that phase, which I had predicted, by the way, where everyone's like, George Lucas would have never let this happen to Star Wars. And I'm like, did you watch Attack of the Clones? Did any of you? Right. But with that in mind, that's something coming up in a few short weeks, and we got lots of stuff planned as we march towards summer movie season. Lots of fun stuff coming up. Brian, where can people find you if they are so inclined?
I write for a show called Puppy Dog Pals, which is on Disney Junior and Disney TV, and it's for little kids. And if you have young kids, I think they're gonna like it. And if you like seeing cute puppies doing funny things, I think you'll enjoy it too.
There we go. And as for me, you can find me everywhere. I am on Twitter at Zacky's Corner, ZAKI's Corner. That's also my website, just add.com. You can also find my posts occasionally at Sequart, SEQUART. And the movie film spin-off show, Nostalgia Theater, also has some fun stuff coming up. I have an episode coming up next week where I celebrate the 35th anniversary, albeit 1 year late, of Masters of the Universe, so that'll be a fun one. And if you haven't already, please check out my interview with Mike Farrell, a.k.a. BJ Honeycutt, about MASH and the 35th anniversary of the finale of that show. That was one of my favorite episodes that we've done, so I'm glad to have that out there.
It's great. I've listened to it. I love it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And as I say each and every time, please go to iTunes and leave a review, leave a star rating. Every little bit helps. Also hit like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please email us, moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. And with that, we are done with episode 143 of the Movie Film Show, but we will be back soon with 144 and beyond. My name is Zaki Hassan. On behalf of my partner, Brian Hall, thanks everybody for listening.
Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.
And now, Demi Adijuibe with the rejected theme for Ready Player One.
Remember King Kong? Remember Ferris Bueller? Remember War Games and Back to the Future? Remember Tomb Raider? Remember Weird Science? Remember Battletoads and the Iron Giant? Remember Star Wars and Transformers the movie? Remember Ghostbusters? Remember The Goonies? Remember when neon used to be trendy? Remember the Where's the Beef Lady from Wendy's? Remember Akira? That's from Japan. Remember Galaga and Mrs. Pac-Man? Remember Contra? Remember Street Fighter? Remember the A-Team? Remember Knight Rider? Remember The Simpsons, seasons 1 through 9? Remember logging onto America Online? Remember Highlander and Highlander 2? Remember Star Trek? We certainly do.